I am recording this because I had this great idea, and it is so incredibly good. And so there's a possibility that I would want to do a documentary, like a film, not film, well, whatever, some type of documenting the process of having this idea come into life. And so I thought I'd start right at the very, very, very beginning. What is my big idea, you say? Yeah, that's what you want to know. Okay, so I made vortexes last year, and it worked out so incredibly well. I was so happy. It was just, I couldn't have asked for better. And next year, it's gonna be better. Way better. Way, way, way better. Okay, so the idea built into plants and people and anything probably alive is a particular set of numbers. Like it's called the Fibonacci sequence. It's a very efficient way for life to grow, or it's the most efficient thing that they can follow is that number. Like on your hand, this section right here is approximately twice of those, and that section plus this section equals that section, and that section equals that section, and so on. And that's how it's built into you, and it's also built into plants even in greater, observable detail. Having that sequence in there makes you appreciate things in nature automatically that have that same symmetry or that same pattern. What happens at the base of the vortex is something similar, where the air will come in and from the side slowly in an arc and then starts to spiral around. If it's moving, as it rolls around, there's a lower pressure center in a vortice, and that pressure, or that center, is trying to be filled with air. And that's what's happening throughout the whole turbulence. It's all trying to be equal. What it is just like a fan mounted on a can, just a tin can, and then inside I made a new little piece for it. I started working with Kiki Petit on new Olympic cauldron ideas. So when you turn it on, then the fan goes, supposedly. Then what we do is we bring a fuel source to it. Stick the flame inside. And the right speed we get. It's a cute little vortex. Darker so you can see it. See the rotation.
I didn't make it very well, like, because it was a prototype, and so it's very dangerous, and parts may fly off at any given moment. So I don't, you know, it's retired. Center section moves a lot faster than the outer section. This would go around about 43 RPM on the outer part and 400 in the inner part. And that's just how a vortex works. The air comes in slowly at the outside, and then at the very inside, it's spinning really rapidly. But the center section allows the vortex to generate right from that spot, right from the center. I melted it a few times, got it too hot. It used to have aluminum on it, and I learned that aluminum does melt if it gets too hot. I warped some of these aluminum blades. At one point in time, I melted the steel inside. Like, that I had blades inside a different center section, and it flattened out because it was so hot. But it's a little bit crude. Someday I hope to make another one again.
Well, with my earlier test with my vortex machine that I made a couple of years ago, it used some central seeding type seeding. I call it a seeding because I call it a seed vortex, or a seeder is what I call it. SEEDER. Because it produces the very initial part of what the vortex needs to be created. So you could start a fire vortex straight out of the seeder, and you could make it grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow because there would be no wind. It would just go right from the center, and you could do it from anywhere as long as you were keeping with the same direction of the wind. So my idea that hopefully will occur is that I'll be able to make this vehicle generate a flame vortex, have it get up there 50, 100, 300 feet high, 300 feet, yeah. So what this is it's a giant diffuser for the fuel, and right here goes the vaporizer, which is this big thing with 272 little tubes. So liquid propane goes in the bottom of that, and vapor comes out the top because it'll be glowing red hot, and it'll heat the propane. And inside the tubes it'll boil and turn into vapor, and then come out. The vapor comes through these channels and into these.
My great grandpa was the town blacksmith, and in a little teeny rural town. So he started the metalwork, and that went on through my grandpa, and my grandpa taught me quite a bit. He was an ingenious guy. So my grandpa was a machinist. And my dad was a shop teacher. So between the two, I had a lot of mechanical skills. I grew up Mormon for until I was 18 or so. I practiced the Mormon religion. It's a small community, you know, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody will see this and freak out. Oh, be like, I thought he went on a mission. He was a good boy. He's been going to Burning Man. Burning Man attracts people that don't fit in the way the rest of society is, and you have to put yourself out there and risk a little bit to be here.
Well, you know, coming from a Christian's point of view, which I am, this is not a place for a Christian, but it's a getaway.
What makes it challenging for a Christian?
Not falling into temptations. I mean, you know, there's illegal substances out here. Sex seems to be free thing. You know, it's not getting lured into temptations, which for me it's not a problem, but I see other people being lured into those categories. It's a different world out here. The other aspect is people come out here to get away from their stressful lives and their greedy lives, and come out here and people are more giving and more kind and more of a unity thing out here.
Some people think that this is a pagan ritual that is going against the norm, that is, you know, debauchery, and it's their own judgments, you know, and it comes from a place of not knowing and being afraid of that. So it's easy to judge it and call those people outcasts and, you know, rebellious.
I'm 81 and I was ready to climb the ladder here. It was a fabulous night last night watching all the different entertainment. I think people are missing a whole lot by not being out here and seeing all this. It's definitely different, once in a lifetime kind of affair.
It is a party in the desert, but it's so much more than that. It's so much bigger and such a special thing that's been created for, you know, for all of us to come together and be able to spread the energy that we create here out into the world. And you know, until you get here, you don't understand. It's fear. It's basically the fear that we all carry around with us every day until we get here and participate and understand and take that leap of faith in going into the unknown desert. You know, that things can be transformed.
I guess I'm able to go a little bit beyond what other people would do. I guess letting go of the fear part of those particular things, and it's a reward actually. In the end, because on the other side of fear is beauty. when there's something new that people fear or I fear, it's all a perceived thing. Fear doesn't exist. So with fire and this imagery, there's a certain amount of fear you have to get through to be able to be comfortable with doing it. Creativity exists in giving up the reason, and then you can purely create. Once you give up the reason, then you instinctually go somewhere. It's a pure form of creativity than doing something for a reason. 7 or 8 years ago, I invented this process to make a photographic image out of my blood. As I was starting to develop the process, I realized I needed more blood, so I learned how to draw my own blood, just with a needle and a tube, and then you actually put it in the blender so it doesn't coagulate, and so and then after that, then you can paint it on, or you can mix it with the chemical and paint it on. So I just have to learn how to be a phlebotomist by yourself. Being able to appreciate the color and instead of just being shocked or afraid of something that you haven't seen before. When I get beyond the fear, then I just get to enjoy in depth what the actual, what is real, the color, the way that it looks, makes a really beautiful print. So with the fire, it's the same thing. It's beautiful. It can be, you can spend your time fearing it, or you can spend your time enjoying and appreciating the beauty of it, of anything really. And that's what I choose to do, is to concentrate on the beauty of things instead of the negative aspects. You have a choice. It's always a choice. So learning how to choose the positive side and the beauty side, and not giving power to the fear, is the important part.
Okay, so I was thinking about the how to create those and create this car. Here's an idea. Okay, here you see there's the car, and there's the dust devil, a couple hundred feet high, and see this is a very rough sketch, of course. Right there is the art car. Okay, and the cedar unit, top view. What else we got? Anyway, you get the point. Okay.
The amazing part of Burning Man is that people will just help you for no money. They just want to help for the experience. This is my dad.
Yeah. He says that I have to tell him it won't work, and then it does. So that's what I think about it. I hope to see it work. His others have worked, so I hope to see this one work.
other people, but it's because they're just exhausted from having fun, I guess. I like happy people. I like to make people happy. I lost my hair when I was 6 years old. Off and on, my hair would fall out throughout the school year. It was seasonal for a little while. And then after a while, I was totally bald. I think in 4th grade, I was totally bald. Well, I got teased a lot. Not a tremendous amount, but it was hard. It was kind of hard to transition in between. And for a little while, I had a wig. And it was like being two people. And that wasn't fun at all. That's when I really learned to hate myself really good. In 10th grade or something, I would go hide in the library most of the time, just avoiding people. That obviously had an effect on how I related to myself, I guess, which then, of course, has an effect. Later, it had an effect at Burning Man. I wasn't a terribly happy person back when I first went to Burning Man. And I think that was the start. That was the very beginning of. I started letting go of some of that anger that I had developed. It doesn't take any processing of the brain to gain the happiness that this can provide. It's just the immediate experience that people see it. They see it forming and going into its tight twisting form, and they just respond to it automatically. There's no thought. They don't have to rationalize.
It turned me on in a very different kind of way. You know, it's more of that sensual energy that's pervasive, sort of tantric fire energy, kundalini, all over the place.
He's out there on the edge. He's doing experimental vaporizers and things I've never seen before, and they're working great. I'm the chief inspector for the LP Gas Board in the state of Nevada, so I'm responsible for safety in Nevada. I'm working with the performance safety team. We go around, we do inspections, as Nate knows. We spent 2 days with him going over his piece to make sure it's safe. We have a lot of people around here. We don't want anybody to get hurt, so it's very safe. He feels pretty educated to me. He seems to know what he's doing. If he's guessing right.
I do involve engineers in the project, and I consult them often, and then I go with what I think will work. So it's mostly intuition. I don't have any training in physics or fluid dynamics. I watch the world, I guess, and learn from the physical world. We're going to take this center section out of the machine, or out of these fans, and make vortexes with handheld flamethrower devices. We'll have 1 or 2 of us in the center with silver proximity suits on, and we'll be creating vortexes that way. Hope this video was worth it, and that you
got to see my idea materialize. It's one of my better ones. Yeah, okay. So next is just make it work, make it happen. No problem. See you, thank you.